and turn it over to John Kennedy for Windows 10 follow-up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Get the screen on the phone. I want to first share what's going to be on the screen. This is kind of new business, but it's old business because you've been getting the emails about this. We are now subscribing to a new service, which is a conference communication meeting service.
Like Skype.
Similar to Skype, but not quite. Bob and I have been using it for a good while with APCUG. We do all of our executive board meetings because we are spread clear across the country. And so this is a free program actually for individuals to use. You can have your own account and you can connect up to 25 people for 40 minutes for free. And I can see that as a great way of families doing reunions, Christmas time, whatever. You can all get on, talk to each other, and see each other. Now I've got just my mic or camera on right now. I've got the other cameras turned off because we don't need to see everybody else. But as you can see right now, there are 5 other people, and pretend you don't see this guy behind the curtain. Wizard of Oz is here with us, but Bob is also, so he can help. You see it, that he is online watching the presentation, along with Jackie Morgan. Some of you know Jackie, and Bobby. Rich Allen is the editor of our newsletter, not able to come into the meeting. Al's there, and Bob. So what we're doing is we have purchased the second level, which doesn't limit us to 40 minutes because our conference or our program might get cut off. And so we'll try to have this set up for every meeting so that if you are sick, unable to attend here in person, you can connect and watch whatever's on the presenter's screen. Now, if you want to be taking part in the whole program, which includes the business part, viewing all the people out here, we are doing the full recording. This doesn't take the place of the full recording. This just lets you get to see whatever's on the presenter's screen. And we'll find out later when the people who are watching tell us whether or not they can hear people in the back through the computer. Definitely we hear them on the microphone because there's a mic right up here, catches everything. This is also going to be possibly used by our board, which then makes it so that they don't have to come into the building to have their meetings, which takes time to get here, time to get back home. And if we have people who are not with us, say somebody who decides to spend the winter in Arizona, now will be able to jump on with us, be a part of the executive meeting, and go with that. Also, if somebody would be sick on that day, if you technically don't come in, we might not have a quorum, but if you're on, you're there. We also can have this set up for our SIG groups. Not repair. We haven't figured out how we can repair over the lines. A hand doesn't come out and fix your computer. But for some of our other SIGs, like the one coming up, the iPad, or last week's iPad, this week's Facebook, Linux one, a Windows SIG. We can again get up to 25 people on here, and with no restrictions of 40 minutes. During the winter time, when the roads get up bad, then we can send out an email that says, we're doing an online SIG today. And so everybody can jump on, and whoever's going to be making the presentation can make the presentation. We can all sit at our homes safe and sound and still learn whatever it was that we were doing. with the camera and the video or audio, we can communicate back and forth when we turn that on. So we think it's going to be a tremendous service for our groups and different activities. In fact, I think APCUG is going to, for their member groups, even let them use our Zoom to help broadcast their meetings, as long as APCU just doesn't need it, if it's not a scheduled thing for there. So, as you can see, there are 6. If I turned on the video, we would be able to hear them talk, but it gets kind of crazy if they're all talking. They can communicate. There is a chat box, so with the mics turned off, they can still communicate. I could turn the cameras on, and if they had a camera, we would see you, but during a presentation, we don't. Ira?
You can also raise your hand.
Yeah, there's a way that you can raise your hand on here. So we've got this, and what I'll probably do is a week or so before the next meeting, have another test run for people who haven't. We did 2 test runs this week, and we had a number of people that tried it out and saw it work well. And so we'll do that. So in case next month, if you know that I can't make it in, I need to stay home because somebody's coming or whatever, you can get on, do a test. All you have to do is download the Zoom program. It's a small program, and that's it. Don't even sign up. Signing up is if you want your own account to host a meeting. So if your family wants to do it, only one person needs to sign up to be the host, and then everybody else just gets on. And just as I did today, you send out an email, says here's the link, click it, and you join. No big deal. Yes?
So we should definitely download it from the link that you sent out, correct?
No. The link is the easiest way because you just click on it and it starts up the Zoom program. The link also has the address that you could click when you say join. If you click the Zoom program and you click join, it's going to say what's the meeting number. It's a 9-digit number.
He said to step back, he started looking at your armpit.
That's what Bobby said, not me.
Bobby said that?
Yes.
Look at my belly. Okay. Yeah.
Does every meeting have a different number?
It can. I can have one meeting or one reoccurring meeting using the same number.
So is that what we're doing, or?
Not yet.
Okay.
We could say that the number for our LCCS is always going to be this 9-digit number, or it keeps changing.
Okay, my point is, if somebody here just went out to Zoom's website and downloaded it,
Perfect.
but this is to work with this organization. So you said the organization paid extra to get.
We paid it so we can go longer than 40 minutes.
Okay, so do we as members need to identify our number of members of this organization?
Absolutely not. All you do is download Zoom. And then you'll get an email that says, click this link or enter this 9-digit number when it's time for our meeting. So you have to have the 9-digit number or you can't get into our meeting. Because there's probably hundreds and hundreds of meetings going on right now at the same time. But you know, ours, and you can see at the top, our number is 588-904-269. Or 598.
Say that again.
598. Say what again?
The number.
598. 994-269. And that will connect you.
Huh? No.
Why?
Read it.
Up the very top.
Yeah, but I can't read it.
I can't either.
588?
598-904.
No, 994.
Oh, 994? Well, why are you asking me? Ask Mary Frances. She can see it.
269. What is it?
And then as soon as Georgia puts that in, or Wayne, they'll pop up and we'll get 2 more little boxes up there that says 2 more people have joined the meeting. And
John,
yeah,
that number is not necessarily the same number for every meeting.
correct. That's just today's meeting.
Right.
And it's only good as long as I have the room open. Once I cut the meeting, the number's not good anymore. So let's see the chat. Oh, tell John to step back. Well, I'm going to turn the camera off because you don't need to see me at all because you're going to see my desktop.
Did she just hit join?
Nope.
She's gonna-
Bob Vance just left again.
My computer dropped offline.
Oh, you're tuning wireless.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yo.
If you lose connection for some reason, power outage or whatever, and you drop out, does the whole thing close down internet?
No.
Over there?
I, as the host the other night, I dropped out when we were doing our test run, and they just lost me for a minute as soon as I got internet back in, because this is being hosted on a server. And, yeah, it's your mic.
Yeah, that's nice.
It keeps telling her she has to sign in again. and again.
She doesn't sign in, she joins.
Join, okay.
Is that server you talking about?
There we go, had to mute. So we're connected, we're all connected to a server. So if I drop out, you're still connected among each other because I haven't closed the machine, so it stays. In fact, the way it works, let's say David's going to host a program. I can't be here today. I set up the meeting. I make David the host, and I go home and do whatever I want, or I stay at home and do whatever I want. And he's running the meeting. That's how great it is. I can trade off or pass off the hosting duties to somebody else because they're all connected to this server. So they're the people, and you can see that's the control. All right, so I'm going to stop my video because we don't need to see. And
Is Georgia on there yet?
no,
I'm still installing.
you're still downloading?
It's installed.
Oh, okay.
Just went around the call.
How are we doing? Are you connected?
No,
Oh, okay.
I was going to and then I decided.
Okay, all right. All right, George Reporter is there.
Yep.
And, you can even put somebody else's name on here if you didn't want to hide who you
No,
are.
I was going to.
And see, Bob had his hand up, and so I'm going to say, what do you want, Bob?
Just wanted to show them how you got your attention.
I might go ahead.
Say, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now, as you can see, Georgia
No, at this point I think.
came in with hers on, so I'm going to go in and turn Georgia mute.
We're getting an echo from Bruce Series.
Yeah.
Everybody should be off right now. Testing. Who else is on? Okay. Yeah, you need to turn your speaker way down, Georgia. Way down, because in fact you can turn your speaker off because you're going to be able to hear me. Okay, so then all I'm going to do now is go up here and say I'm going to share my desktop. And so now all those people who are at home are watching this. And I'm going to change that. One thing that's hide that. I'm going to turn this one off too. Okay. All right, so we're here talking about Windows 10. First thing I'm going to say is I am not going to teach you all about Windows 10 in the next 45 minutes. No way, possibly. Because there's too much. Two, none of us are experts enough to do this teaching of Windows 10. It hasn't been out long enough. Three, you're stuck with me because nobody else would do this. And I'm not the one to do it.
Thank you, John.
I was very nice. I didn't wear my Linux shirt today, but
I have a question before you started.
yeah.
What happened with Windows 9?
Good question. Here, and this is what the answer is. There is a real answer and the answer they give to all you common people. The common answer is Windows 10 was so different that we're skipping 9. We're going from 8 to 10 because it is so radical different, we're skipping 9. The technical reason for anybody who does computer stuff is that Microsoft over the years, when they have been rewriting code, doesn't always get rid of code. In fact, inside the computer is code for Windows 95 and Windows 98. And they never figured they were going to do something, and they never took it out. So if they put code in for Windows 9, we have a conflict because 9, 95, 98 would be a conflict inside the system. So they skipped 9 so that the coding wouldn't go kafooey. My feeling is Microsoft was wrong in calling it 10 because Microsoft says this is the last operating system that you will ever download. There will not be an 11. There will not be a 12. Because no, there won't be. No, I'll guarantee you there will not be. Because what they're doing is they're converting Windows into a service, just like Adobe and just like Microsoft Office. They are services. That means you pay monthly and you're always getting the newest version. You're always having an updated copy. So Windows 10 will become that. Linux has been doing this for years. It's called a rolling release. There are certain releases of Linux that once you install them, you never ever have to upgrade or reinstall because it's always coming in. And so Windows 10 is going to be that same concept. This will be the last one that you ever install because you will always be getting updates, improvements, and whatever. Now, that doesn't mean you never have to pay for Windows 10 again. If you have to buy a new computer, you will be paying for Windows 10. If your computer dies, you'll probably have to buy a new copy of 10. Because what Microsoft has done is Microsoft has now connected your copy of Windows 10 to your hardware. And they have registered with their big servers that your motherboard number, it's a UUID number, is now your authorization. And so if you would take your computer and put a new motherboard in it that has a different number, Windows 10 would not work on your computer and you would have to go and buy a new copy. As far as we can tell, if you have to replace a hard drive, not a big deal. If you'd have to repair or replace some RAM, not a big deal. We're just not quite sure with the processor, but we know for the motherboard. Because Microsoft's fine print says Windows 10 is free for the life of your device. You have to figure out what does that mean. I did read that the idea is Windows 10 free will go about 10 years. Because most of the time, before 10 years is up, your computers are dead, gone. They just don't hold up. The other thing that Microsoft will have happen is that if you got a brand new computer today that works with Windows 10, by 10 years from now, there will be new hardware requirements, and your old computer won't be able to handle the newest upgrades to Windows 10. And we get that same problem, oh there's Jim, when we get computers in here. And Bill knows that because he works on them. We get computers that cannot handle some of the newer operating systems. They just don't have the hardware and the stuff. So Microsoft is figuring that by 10 years, your computer will not be able to handle, you'll have to have a new computer and you're going to be buying Windows 10. So that's what happened to 9 and that's what we're going to get. So when you do choose to upgrade to 10, that's going to be it. It will be the 10 for forever. I might as well just say that Me personally, this is me talking because that's who's standing up here. Anybody else can say it later. If you are a Windows 8 user, and 8 means whether you're Windows 8, 8.1, 8.1 Update, those are all three of the versions, the recommendation probably is that you should go to 10. 10 will clean up all of the little issues that 8 has. This is, to me speaking, the same pattern that Microsoft has been doing. Windows Me was bad, so Windows XP fixed it. Windows Vista was not good, so Windows 7 fixed it. Windows 8 was not good, Windows 10 is fixing it. So my feeling is, if you would ask me, I would say if you're on Windows 8, you probably need to go to 10. Having said that, we have 2 Windows 10 computers running in this building. Anytime that you want to go and check it out, feel free to come in during class times, before our meetings, during our help desks.
Fridays.
Yeah, Friday mornings when there's somebody here. Feel free to come in and test drive the 10. Now, for Windows 7 people, it becomes a little bit more difficult. We talked last month about what all these features are for 10 over 7. And a 7 person has to sit down and say, do I even care about those features? Windows 7 will be good for a little over 4 more years. January 2020 is when Microsoft is putting it out into the graveyard, just like it did with XP. Vista will be going out, I think, in 2 years. But you've got till 2020 that Windows 7 is being supported by Microsoft. And so I would say, if Windows 7 is working for you fine and you're having no problems, and the features that were in the program last time that says here's what you get, and you say, I don't really care, then you can stay. Because most of you that are on Windows 7, within 4 years your computer's probably going to die anyway. You're going to get a new computer and you're going to get Windows 10. So for Windows 7 people especially, you need to come in and get on somebody's computer that's a 10 and try it out and see if you like those new features. Because maybe you won't. If yours is running fine, the only difference is until July 29th, 2016, you can upgrade to Windows 10 for free. After that, it's going to be anywhere from 100 to 120 for the home version, up to 199 for the Pro version, which nobody really needs anymore unless you're that far in. But you've got until end of July. So there's no hurry. Once you do make the change, you still have 30 days. Microsoft will give you a 30-day rollback guarantee. After 30 days, you're stuck. The only way you can go back is to wipe out your computer, right?
Download Linux. Yep.
And then reinstall. Mary Frances.
Are we supposed to say questions until you're through?
No.
Would you tell me again what you told me last month about that peer-to-peer download?
Let's do that when we're doing updates and talking about that. You did it back in the meeting.
It comes back, it did a while ago.
Yeah.
On the updates, it's like 7 and 8.1.
Oh yeah,
Those 8.
thanks. 7 has to be Service Pack 1, which you all should be. That's been out for, 4 years? And with 8, you have to be at 8.1. You can't be at 8. You have to be at 8.1 updated.
Right.
And so any of those people get free. Vista people, you're out of luck. XP people, you're out of luck. There is no upgrading for that to 10. All right. So yeah, we'll come back to your little question later. Anything else before we kind of take a tour and see? I'm going to try to show you most of the things that people want to know. Not all the inner workings, but the day-to-day what you do on Windows 10 or what you've been doing on Windows 7 and how you're going to do that in Windows 10.
It changes.
Yeah, some changes, some are kind of the same. So, we'll do that, and we'll try to do, kind of questions. I will tell you right now that I am not going to show you Cortana.
Learn how to use it.
Well, it's probably a whole meeting, and I'll leave it up to somebody else who wants to use it. I have big issues personally with privacy issues.
Me too.
And so we'll let somebody else do the Cortana when they want to do it. We will not do Cortana today. All right, so here's the desktop, and basically the desktop is just a normal desktop. It's got a new fancy default. I haven't changed that, but that's the default. Nice, Windows, very modern looking. You also have in Windows 8 and 10 a screen that is before the login screen. It's a screen that's like a notification screen. It tells you the date, time. You can customize it to let you know when you've got email or headline news or whatever. My biggest feeling is I'm saying to people, if I'm using the computer, I'm not sitting there staring at a screen. I'm using it. So that screen has no use to me, because the minute I sit down, I hit it and go to the login screen and get logged in, and I'm spending time here. But I don't know if we try to go back to that, what that does to Zoom, so we're not going to worry about that. You would not have this. This is the command thing for the Zoom. One thing that's nice is all the people who are on here, I didn't tell them, but they're going to hear it now. They have that same menu that drops down, and they have a bit where they can annotate, that they could take a little marker and draw circles and point arrows, so that when you're having a meeting, it's like a whiteboard, and you can share that. But we'll do that. Okay, so as you can see, we've got icons on the top. But what I feel is to the point is, you do not need icons on your desktop. It's a waste of energy, because the desktop has to be recreated by graphics. You put stuff on there, and they have to keep doing it. My brother-in-law's daughter brought the computer to me because it was running so slow. I discovered she had all of her photos stored on the desktop, like over 1,000. And every time she went to this and came back to the desktop, it took forever for the desktop to get ready. I took that folder of pictures and moved them back into her user folder where it's supposed to be. My goodness, the desktop worked fine. The other reason is because a desktop gets covered. When you open a window, it's covered. You don't see those icons. Microsoft allows you to put a few icons down in the taskbar like they've always done, although they've said you can't do as many. And that's because in their new Start menu, you can put 80 icons, shortcuts for programs. So there's really no need to clutter up your taskbar or your desktop. Basically, the other stuff is the same. David, can you give me the pointer? I forgot to get that. On the left-hand side, there is a Start button, you can see. Microsoft has brought the real Start button back in. The part in the middle is the part of Cortana and Search. On my user, it is gone. I have just turned it off, so I get a little bit more real estate. So that's the part right there for Cortana. Okay, let me just check because I got somebody. Yep, Georgia, you turned your microphone back on.
Well, I turned it down, but sorry about that.
No, you turned your speakers down, but you also turned the microphone back on.
Okay. Trying to get to it.
Yeah. All right. Then, of course, this is the same launch area that we've had ever since XP, but they hit an XP. And then on the right-hand side are your actual programs that are running, in the background. Clock and time, just like you had before.
John, where's the Start button there?
I'll get there in a second. I can turn George's microphone off again.
Who's guest?
thought I turned it off.
Is that you, Wayne?
Guest? Not sure who guest
Is
is.
that you,
The
Wayne?
camera's on.
Wayne? Is that you? Yes?
Well, I've got the camera. You can see up here in the corner, I've got the cameras kind of off screen so they aren't going to bother us. When you're in there's another feature that's even more money. It's called a webinar. And that turns off the this is a good learning experience to find out. For some reason, Georgia's microphone will not stay off. And I thought I had it set up in the setting up the meeting that all mics would be off. When I do it the next time, all cameras would be off and the mics would be off. You just get on, you can hear. All right, and so the stuff over here, that's nothing different than what we've had before. You know, you've got your clock and your calendar. So for 7 people, or people who went from 7 to 8, this screen really doesn't look any different. So we're comfortable. So the big question comes in with the start menu. So I'm going to go down and click on the start menu. And this is where the biggest difference I feel is going to go. You have people who were Windows 8 didn't have this. You just had a button that took you back to that big giant screen. Or if you knew that you could right click on your Windows 8 button, you had this menu. But it wasn't really something that too many people could make use of. But that's the right click and brings up what they call the command, menu. So I got to work on this and see. And it could be depending on what you do on your computer, playing with your speakers and stuff. You've got to kind of turn off your speaker, not just turn your microphone down. You've got to turn your mic all the way out. All right, so we go back to the start. Oh, I don't want to talk to you. So this is your start button now. And what they've done is they've combined the Windows 7, XP, 98, 98.5 start button with the new Windows 8 start screen. And what that means is that now all of your programs are these little tile. And they kept that because people kind of like the colorful tile instead of just a single word for the programs like we're used to in Windows 7 and everything else.
I'm sorry, John, where did you find that at?
Start button right down the bottom left corner.
I know, I didn't see where you went.
You can't. The TV's in the way.
Oh, okay.
Jim, move the TV, please.
Okay. Need 2 other volunteers.
At least. So yeah, it's just down the bottom corner. It's the same place it's always been.
Okay,
Only
okay.
it pops up this. So this side is your tiles, and this side are your links. And when you look at them, you'll kind of say, oh yeah, I remember, because there's a link to, well, actually, none of those links are familiar. The links are down here. You've got one to power, settings. All programs are down at the bottom, which has been in Windows start menus forever. What these are is what you saw first. We used to see a recently used program. And so this has been changed from recently used to most used. And so Microsoft just keeps track of what you're doing and puts your most used ones right here. Some of which are duplicated over here because these are your pinned start programs. Down at the bottom, there's your My Computer. They call it File Explorer now, but it gets you to the same thing. They just keep changing the name. Just like they changed My Computer to Computer, then in Windows 8 they changed it to This PC. Now they've changed Windows Explorer to File Explorer. And that's because every other computer system does that. They call it File Explorer. They don't call it Windows Explorer. They don't call it Apple Explorer. They don't call it Linux Explorer. We all call it File Explorer because that's what you're doing. Yeah, Bob?
You can get rid of any particular tile that you want to just by right-clicking on it and deleting it, right?
Yep, yep.
Right.
So, we're going to we're going to do that. This is a default user. I just created a demo user for this program, and so this is how it comes to you. Now there are some programs like my Candy Crusher that show up because it came in on all users. Now some of these tile are what we call live tile. And that means if you watch them, you will see them change. This one did before this one. These live tiles are kind of nice for somebody who is just sitting here looking at your start menu. But again, my point is, who is just sitting there staring at your computer? Do something on it. So these will change. And this one doesn't change that often. But this one was changing for advertising for game stuff. This one says news. So if it's live, it will change and show you headlines. If you have the sports one, look down here, I can't get far away. That's Twitter.
I don't think you have the sports.
I don't think I have it there, which is interesting because I didn't think I'd taken it off of this one.
Do you have extended tiles there?
Just down at the bottom.
Oh, okay. You don't have it
Yeah.
on the side. Okay.
Now, so there you saw that one change. Twitter just changed. I don't have a Twitter account, so I don't know what this is all about because I don't Twitter.
Changed again.
Yeah. So people like the live ones when they change, but for me again, what good is it? I'm using my computer, not sitting here staring at this.
You have any idea, John, whether Microsoft has their little fingers in these other companies' pies?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, they're just giving them free advertising, basically.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how much Microsoft greases and how much they own. You know, Skype is now owned by Microsoft. So they control Skype. So those of you who are using Skype, Microsoft is keeping tabs on
You
you.
get up there as a by default, you can bet your butt that Microsoft owns part of it.
You'd think so.
And look at all the bloatware you get on the computer.
So on here, these are what you choose to be on your screen.
I have 8.1, and it's not a whole lot different from that.
Correct. This is the part that came from 8.1. So since I had to turn the mic off again. So this is the part that came from Windows 8. The start screen that they wanted to keep. Which wasn't a bad idea. The problem was Microsoft introduced it and did not plan the correct way to tell us how good this was. Because it's kind of nice, you know, rather than click the start button and have 5 or 6 programs for your shortcuts for your favorites, now you've got a whole screen that you can have. So it wasn't a bad idea, except people just didn't know how to use that. Now, there it flipped. Okay, so Georgia asked about the customizing. That's one big thing in Windows 10. It's going to take you a long time to learn all the customizing you can do with it to make it really work the best for you. And in a workshop that we had before, when people had issues, the answer was, well, customize it. You don't have to do that way. You don't have to see this. You don't have to. But there's a lot of customizing. And a lot of times it's right-click and settings. David?
Well, along with customizing and what you were saying about the live tiles, you want to mention how to turn off live tile?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. See, that's again, customizing. Like I said, there is so much to do. We're not going to learn everything. So, on the ones that you have here that you don't want. For example, I don't want the Twitter because I don't Twitter. Right-click gives me a menu of choices. Your best friend on the computer is your right-click mouse button. because it brings up menus of what you can do. So I can unpin this from start. Remember, this whole thing is start. It doesn't call it start menu, it's called start.
So it goes back over on this side.
Not technically, no. There's nothing on that side. I can unpin that. Notice down here, David was going to bring up that. I can turn this tile off from being live. Any tile that can be live, when you right click, it can say turn on or turn off. And you can choose laptop, I would say, turn off because it uses your battery. Georgia.
If you don't use it, you don't want it, what is the best option to choose there?
Well, we'll get to that next one down.
Okay.
Now, so you can resize this. One of the things that Windows 8 came up with is people said, we don't like these big icons. We just want little ones. So you can resize these. This is the medium size. Small would be 4. This is the wide one. And then there's one, I think, bigger. So when you go down to resize, this one's only going to show small, medium, and wide. But I think there's a bigger one that you can get. So you can pick. I don't need these big tile. I just want small ones. So you can make small. If I choose small, it goes that size. So if I do that, I can get 4 times as many shortcuts on the same space. Now, the next thing down here, it says unpin it. Or I can pin it to the taskbar. So it would be down here instead of up here, or in addition to up here. So if I unpin this one, then it would disappear from here and be not on the start. There's the uninstall. So Georgia, if you said I do not want Twitter on my computer at all, there it is uninstalled. I don't like that Microsoft did this. It puts it too close to mouses and fingers that can accidentally, delete. I don't know why Microsoft in their wisdom said, let's take deleting programs off of the add remove programs. But it's right there. My concern is with teaching seniors, I have a number of people who are starting to have problems with hand control, shakes, and whatever. And I'm just afraid that they're going to try to say, well, I want to pin it to the taskbar, and they hit down here. And then they have to deal with trying to say, no, I didn't really want to do that, don't delete, whatever.
I was going to say, they better ask you, are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, they still do that, but still, my feeling is, go to add remove. But their idea is, let's be able to add remove, or remove, right there. So, I can turn on, let me get it back again. Wide one, and see, depending on what size you make it, it has to move. And then I can go in here and say turn off the tile, so now you can see it's no longer live. So you can do that for almost any of those that are. For example, if I go up here to Groove Music, I can make that a live one. I don't know what it does when it turns live. I guess maybe give me on my list of songs.
I had on the main tiles there, I had taken pictures of my outside of my house.
Yeah.
And Bill Long, I seen a tile flip over and there was a picture outside of my house, the porch.
Yeah. The photo shortcut is connected to your photo. What used to be we called pictures, the folder called pictures, now photo. So that will link to it and do a little slideshow of all the pictures in your photo. Okay, so you can do this. Now, let's say that I want my weather close at hand, so I can pin it to the taskbar, and now it's down here, always visible. Doesn't get covered up. I don't have to hit start to get to it. It's right there. One of the things that changed in Windows 10 from Windows 8 was that in Windows 8, whenever you used one of their Windows 8 apps, you had to go to full screen, kind of like on the Windows 8 side. And people didn't like it. I said, I don't really want this full screen. That's the only choice you had. Now, with Windows 10, this app goes to a size of a box, and I can make the size whatever I want. And that was a compromise. You can still do full screen, because there's your button for full screen, but the Windows people who are traditionalists don't have to have it full screen. They can make it whatever size they want. So that was the big feature that they did that back to get people, compromised, happy. David?
I think the snap feature also will work with this.
Yeah. What he's talking about is that we started way back in 7, that if you didn't know, if you wanted to do 2 windows on the same screen, back in the Windows 98 and XP days, we had to resize. You had to go one resize, one resize. Well, in 7, they made it so that you can take it and bang it across the left side, and it sticks half sides. And you can take your other one and bang it across the right side, and it automatically fills that half. There was a keyboard combination that I used that will do the same thing. That's called snapping. It still does it. But with Windows 10, they've added that if you snap the corner, you can get 4 equal windows on your desktop. So if you need to see 4, you can do that. So normal snap, get out there. Sorry, Georgia.
That's okay. My setting, I'm having trouble with it going to sleep.
Every
time it goes to sleep,
right.
The speaker comes back on.
Okay, so we need to go in and learn where that is. All right, so I close that out. Or I'm not. So I can bang it on the side. Notice it turns half. If I had another window, let me get another window up here. And I take it and I bang it there. Oh, I'm sorry, I banged it in the corner, so it took 1/4 of the size. So that's the new feature in 10. So there's some people would say, well, that's a feature I like, to be able to snap 4 windows on there.
Are you holding your key down when you do that?
No, I'm just banging it. So if I take it here and I just bang it across the side.
Yeah, but you're using the left drag.
Well, yeah, I'm using the left drag. You can't drag anything without that. But there is a keyboard I could have used instead. For those who learn to do keyboards instead, Windows left and right. All right, so now you can split it, so you don't have to take the time to resize it and get 2 screens the same size. Okay. All right, go away. See, that's the one disadvantage there. Now notice when I drug it down just a little bit, it went back to its normal size. Let's go. Okay, so in the Start menu, any other questions about, these can all be rearranged. You just drag them. I want to have this one up here, so I just drag it up there. I can group these. I could say I want to make this one up here at the top, my internet stuff. I could drag all my internet shortcuts there, my photography stuff. We could do all that. Yes?
Are those just the old-fashioned left drags?
Yes, just old-fashioned, always been, left drag. That's why we teach it in our beginners classes. That's one of the things Jim does. We stress learning to use that mouse. All right, so
How do you start a new group?
Do what?
How do you start a new group?
Oh, I just add more to it and drag it somewhere. Now, notice how I can scroll down. I don't know what the limit is, but I can keep adding icons and make, like I said, 80 icons on my shortcut and scroll down. I can also say I don't want it to take up all this room. So now I can only take up that much room, but then I'm going to scroll way down here.
Here's another question.
Yeah.
Can you drag one from the top of the
Anywhere you want to drag it.
and put it in the new one?
In the new...
The ones that you got down underneath.
Oh, yeah. I can just...
Like you take that one there and drag it, you put it clear down the bottom and stay there.
Yeah.
Or I can, as the question was, how do I start a new group?
John, are you using a mouse when you're doing that?
Yes, I'm left dragging.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I have a brand new group down here at the bottom because I just drug it down to an open space.
Could you go control left mouse and grab 2 of them and drag at the same time? You know how when you click on number of files you want to drag someplace?
I don't think they're going to allow that because I'd have to click on this one and have to hold
Oh, no, they don't. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah, because what Bob was saying is that you can select multiple and then drag them all at once. Well, in your start, these are start up shortcuts to starter programs. So if you click on it, it starts right up. Okay, now, so let's take a look at the other start. We already know that the top here is most used. And as you use programs, they change and come and go. The ones over here that you put on here, stay put. That's your permanent one. It doesn't go anywhere. You control that. Recently added. Notice today I had to install Zoom. Now, this is a negative thing, and I'll have to be honest with this. We're talking with some other people. For some reason, we have discovered that Microsoft, if you add a program to user A, it's not going to be available to user C. I don't know whether that's something in settings that you have to go in and say anything I install, but I have Zoom on here. I've been using it with ours for the last 6-8 months. But I went today and Zoom was not on this user. I had to go in and download it. And I was talking to somebody else. Oh, I know. I was talking to another friend who is a district tech coordinator for a school up north. And he has like 2,000 computers. And he's so upset because he doesn't use Windows 10. But when they were testing it out, found out, what? You can add a program for this user and it doesn't work for this one? Maybe that'll work out in, remember, always updating. Always updating changes. All right, so down here at the bottom you have File Explorer, and when I click on that, you'll say, oh, there's Windows Explorer that you've been using forever, just a more modernized use. It has the ribbons that is now Microsoft's big thing. I hate ribbons, but they're there. And now they have some things that they call frequent folders. So you can customize, remember that magic word, and you can put whatever folders from your home area on frequent folders, so they will be right there. So you don't have to go looking for them. You don't have to go to users, your user, and find them. You also have quick access to locations, and notice that there's a thumb pin, so you can pin some things to here, sort of like what we had, before. Videos, music, and pictures, so there's quick links. Notice OneDrive, because it's owned by Microsoft, it's automatically there. You didn't put it there, they put it there. There's this PC, so if I click on this PC, which is my computer that we know, there's our computers for what's on there. So there's this PC is now, my PC and Windows 8 and my computer and whatever.
So if you'd right click on the C drive, it'll bring up all your folders and stuff.
Or I'll left click and that'll bring up the folders in Windows hard drive. And there's the Windows folder. Here are all the users folder, program folders, just like before. And so I could go into users. Oops. And there's my different users on the laptop.
Ooh.
But it's in this PC. Why did they change the name? That's what they do. All right, so that. Now, when we go back to start, there's your settings. We'll come back to that real quick. And down at the bottom, all programs. Now, you remember in Windows 7, all programs, you get a whole list of all your folders, alphabetical order. Well, they decided to do something different. We're going to put them in sections, A, B, C, D, E, F.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
And so, if I want to get to Zoom, well, Zoom is at the end of the alphabet, so I've got to go way down here.
Well, then
and
you can type the letter.
don't give it away. And then sit down to Zoom. The program's inside of a folder. I have no idea why some programs are inside folders and some are not inside a folder. Because you can see this Windows Feedback and Windows Media Player, they are not inside a folder. But accessories are still in here. Also, for those people who've been using a computer for a while, Microsoft thought it was smart to change your accessories folder, where your WordPad, Paint, all, to Windows accessories. So the first time you get to a Windows 8, 10, you go to accessories, you'll say, I don't have it. And I'll have to say, yes, you do, but you got to go to the very bottom of the alphabet to Windows accessories. Why that changed, I don't know. All right, so what Ira wants to share with you is that they did a neat thing. I want to play jump to a certain category or alphabet letter. If you just click on A, you get the whole alphabet. So I want to go to Zoom. I just click there, and it takes me. Mouse didn't get it. Takes me right down to the last letters. Also, it's kind of neat too because if you look at it, you can probably figure out grayed out, grayed O, grayed out, grayed out. Means I have no programs with B, J, Q, U, Y. So I don't have to go looking through it. David?
How did you get into that again?
All you have to do is click on a letter of the alphabet, and it jumps you to the whole list.
Is it browser icon take you to the browser? The one next to the Z?
Is that what that is?
I don't know.
It's not lit, so.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not.
yeah. So I don't, yeah.
That takes me back.
Okay.
That took me back. All right, so anything or anytime I want to add a program, it's just as easy. Let's say I want, since it's my Zoom, I have to go to the program. There's a program. Right click. Remember, your best friend is right clicking. And again, there's all my options. Pin it to the start, not start button, not start screen. Pin it to start. Pin it to the taskbar. Ooh, uninstall it. Run it as an administrator. We won't even talk about that. That's in our class because some programs you have to be an administrator to run it. And I can actually open where that file is located. So I want to pin it to the start, so I click pin to start. It goes to the very bottom. But I don't want it at the bottom, I want the top, so I'll just left click and drag it back up to the top where I want it. And so there it goes. So that's how easy that you can customize your start to make it work for you. Put the tile that you want on, take the tiles off that you don't want. If you want them live, make them live. If you don't want them live, turn them off. If you want them big, make them big. If you want them small, make them small. Any questions on that? Start menu there.
John?
Yes?
If they are live, that slows your computer down, correct?
I would think a little bit because it's going out, just like your phone, it's sending back live information. So desktop, probably not a big issue. Laptop, not if you're plugged in, but laptop running on battery, probably don't want that on there.
So
And go ahead.
So if you put them to the start button, and then they don't cause a lot of space being
Used up?
Used
No,
up.
they're just small little icons.
okay.
Yeah.
But if they're on your desktop,
Then you could because the desktop has to redraw every time you go back to the desktop. Any back? So any questions on start menu? Because that's what you're going to do a lot with, and that's how easy it is. Yes?
I noticed you had Kindle on the bottom there.
I didn't, but yes, it did.
How did that happen?
Microsoft put it there.
Oh,
do you have
Now,
a reader, John?
it's possible I had it on Windows 7. No, I mean, sorry, Windows 8. So when it upgraded to 10, it was already there.
I didn't take it there.
Yeah. Who knows that Microsoft may be trying to get into Apple or Amazon too, so we'll see. Any other questions about start stuff? David?
If you don't have Kindle, you can download it.
Yeah. Now,
Oh, I got a question.
Microsoft has its own store. Apple has a store. Google has a store for Androids. We have a store in Microsoft. Here is Microsoft's store where they want you to come and get software. They have free and paid ones. If I go to the home, I am on home. Top free apps, top free games, new music, movies, top selling shows. So they have both free and paid. You know who I am, so you know which ones I would do. They subdivided into apps and games, so if I click on apps, these are all apps. There's the top free apps, and there's the top paid app, the best rated apps. So I can go here and get software that is guaranteed, certified, homogenized, works with Windows and Windows 10. The problem with that is that you have to have a Microsoft account to go into the store. What that means is you have to have a Microsoft email address. It could be the old Hotmail, could be the older Live Mail, or it could be the newer Outlook.com mail. But whatever, if you want anything from Microsoft Store, you have to register with them and connect your email to them or get a Microsoft account.
Okay, it has nothing to do with you. Georgia made a statement about Facebook.
Yes?
About capital letter, making sure it's capital letter.
Yeah.
But right there's the logo, and that's a small F.
Sure is.
I mean, I don't understand. I didn't understand.
Mary Frances doesn't realize that her thoughts don't apply.
Oh.
She didn't realize that.
That's just their logo. Yeah, but everything.
Facebook has got a capital F as the word, but
Yeah.
Mary Frances, their logo is a lowercase f.
Yeah.
And see, the bad guys know that. Now we're confused.
Yeah.
Is it real or is it not?
I'm an older woman, you shouldn't have did that to me.
I know it. I didn't do it. He did it. All right. So if you go to any of these programs, when you want to, for example, VLC is a tremendous video audio program. It's free, but if I click on it to download it, it will say, "Give me your Microsoft password." If I don't give them my Microsoft password, you can't download it. When you give them your Microsoft password so you can download it, they write down, "Oh, Ira downloaded this program." Keeps track of what he's downloading and using.
Everything I look at costs me $1.99, I'm back out.
They do it free. But they do. Now, you can still go on the internet and download programs. I could go and get the real VLC that is not the Windows 10 app. I can get the real VLC from the company and download it, and I don't have to do my Microsoft account to get that one. It's only when you go to the Microsoft Store. So basically, tons of programs. Games, that's another thing. The games, if you upgrade from 7 to 10, your Hearts and Solitaire and whatever, kiss them goodbye because they get removed. If you want games, you got to go back here and get their games. And you have to register to get their game.
Do they have all of them?
Oh yeah, there's a whole Microsoft card collection. But you have to, use your name to get it. And then the talk is that if you notice, you might find out a little bit of advertising now comes with those games. You want to get rid of the advertising? Pay it. It's easy. Buy the paid version.
Oh, I know.
There's how Microsoft, people wonder, well, if Microsoft gives us all Windows 10 for free, how are they going to make any money?
There's
Well, there's one of it. Okay. Any questions about the store? You can go to the store. Safe Games works with Windows 10, but you have to have your account with Microsoft to get that.
Does the MSN account still work, Jeff?
Yes, because it's been converted. Anybody who's got a Hotmail or a Live Mail, you actually got an Outlook mail. They're all converted, but they sometimes say Live Mail, even if you have Outlook. They merge them together. Georgia.
Okay, I got ripped off, I don't know whether time what, or anyway, I only have 4 options: unpin from start, resize, turn light tile off, or pin to taskbar. I don't have any other options.
What option did you want?
I wanted to remove it.
Uninstall.
Uninstall.
Unpin.
Evidently, it must be a program I can't uninstall.
Bingo!
There we go.
There are stuff that Microsoft says you can unpin it, but you can't uninstall it. So you found one of them,
Mac
Georgia.
does the same thing.
Yeah, Mac does it.
Xbox is one.
Right, because
Music is another.
yeah, that's their core programs. They won't let you remove
I
those.
tried, John, I wanted Rhythm Box.
Yeah,
No.
Rhythm Box is not written for you.
I wanted that because I like it.
That's Linux. They'll,
That's okay, I got one.
You gotta check to see, well, you check to see if there is a version. All right, so, go to the store, you get all that stuff. Now, let's talk about updates, because that was a question that came up. Microsoft has changed the policy of updates. Back in Windows 7, you could go in and say 4 choices. Download them automatically, I don't want to be involved. Download them, but don't install. I will check which ones to let you install. 3, don't download and install. I will tell you which ones to download and install. And 4th, don't do anything. Now, these computers in here are set to don't do anything because these are not production models, these are teaching models. We don't have time to deal with all the updates going on. We do that every couple months or so, and David and I come in here and we do a week's worth of updates. Windows one time had 85 for that. Anyway, so you could do that. Why? Because some people said, you know, Microsoft does send out updates that do not work. It's a fact of life. Sometimes mess up. So they would say, okay, you can update, but don't install until I hear of any bad things. Well, in Windows 8, they got rid of most of that. They said, you can pick what time, but you can't make that kind of choice.
Right.
Now, in Windows 10, they said, because we are a service, you have nothing to say except when it's time to restart your computer, we will tell you, and you can say, oh, don't do it right now, I'm in the middle of something. Let's set it up for tomorrow at 2 o'clock or whatever. But you will no longer be able to control or react or interact with the update process. And that's because they are always updating your computer.
Are they still going to be using the same KB format?
Oh yeah, the ones that doesn't tell you anything.
You get like 600 of those and your computer slows down, you know? Like,
yeah. What's supposed to happen now is that they're, you know, it's going to be constant. There's going to be updates all the time, and all of a sudden you're going to be working on the computer and wonder what's going on because your computer is updating. It used to be, we could say that it was always on Tuesday, 2nd and 4th Tuesday.
They can do it anytime.
Now, anytime. And let me warn you that if you get in the middle of something and it says we're updating, don't touch, don't touch. You may end up having to reformat your computer. If we go to updates, I will say that if you have the business version, they are allowed to delay updates for like 2-3 months because that's business. And if Microsoft would send an update that didn't match with their proprietary software the business used, they'd be up a creek. So that gives the IT person in that company 3 months to make sure that that update is going to play nice with their computer. After the 3 months, they get the update.
Why can't they learn from Linux?
Pardon?
Why can't they learn from Linux and just do it through Linux?
But Linux does that.
What, the KB file?
Well, the KB file is just their knowledge base.
Yeah.
But we have the same files that come constantly. But we never in Linux get the trouble of the computer automatically shutting down and whatever. And we still in Linux have the ability to say, don't update, I'll decide when. Microsoft says no. Last thing for right now, then we can have questions. On the first page is your settings. This is going to look different. It's not going to be the old control panel that we had. They started migrating to this in Windows 8, and this is the product in Windows 10. And it's in categories, so you have to play with, okay, where is it? They are going to be limiting us to a lot of the settings because they don't want us messing and configuring too much. But you got the same thing in here, the display, your accounts to set up users, set up your internet. But notice on here, let's see, where I'm trying to find add remove programs.
Not there.
Not there. See.
I say, John, does this take a place in control panel?
Yes. However, for right now, if I go to this right-click menu, I can go to, if I can see it, control panel. And here for a while, this is still available, but it will be leaving. But this one, and I use it by the category view, or individual. This will still be here for a while, but don't be surprised if all of a sudden, at least you would expect it, you go into control panel and all it does is take you back to the new one. But this is going to go away, I will guarantee. Well, you're going to have to learn to do the other way. The same thing, let's see. On the control panel settings. See, they don't even call it control panel anymore, it's settings. So you go in here and there's a lot to do. I'm not going to take the time because there are so many settings and you got to go in through and read, see what they do.
System.
Yeah, in the system. Devices, pretty much the same as your devices. Privacy. Somebody else is going to do this presentation and talk to you about Microsoft's privacy and what they are looking at. Because if you use Cortana has to know everything about you. One person mentioned last month at our virtual tech conference for APCUG, which we give free to all members every quarter, said that Cortana knows more about me than my wife.
I saw that.
Yeah. Okay, so that part. Now, I said last thing, but the last thing is you need to know this E is not Internet Explorer. It's still E, but this is Edge. Edge is replacing Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer, I'll tell you, is still hidden inside because there are some websites that cannot handle the new stuff. And so Microsoft's being smart and saying, okay, if Edge doesn't let you see it right, there's a way that you can say, open it in Internet Explorer. But I'll tell you, Internet Explorer will not be around much longer. They will move it. Edge is their new thing, and it's just a modernized thing that has some features. If we click, these are called hamburgers. They look like a hamburger, top bun, burger, bottom bun. That's where you find all your settings. Let me move this thing out of my way. Dot also means settings. We learned that when we were in school, in English class. Dot means etc. and therefore more other stuff. So that's where you would find some of your settings for your Edge. This is kind of neat because if we're on a page, I can click. Microsoft won't let me do that one. Okay, let me quickly go. East Central Ohio Technology User Club. If I go up here, see now this box is gray, black. On Microsoft's page, they won't let me do this. If I click that one, this is my annotation. This is kind of neat because I can take a marker and I can mark up a page. I want to, Mary Frances is trying to send you a page to show you, here's where you go to do something, blah, blah, whatever. So she can use Edge and she can draw. She can use Edge and make a little box to type on there. I lost it.
Oh, why don't you show that new member how to look at her bonus work?
Well, because I don't want to take the time to have to log in and everything.
Okay.
Well, we can do that later. Then, once I have this marked up with things, Mary Frances can go up here and click the share button, and she can share it. I can use, for my computer, I can mail it out. I can use OneNote, which is their Microsoft's product, or I can use my favorite, Evernote, which is what's really good. So you can be able to share a web page that you've been marked up, and it doesn't do anything to the page. It's just your screen. So that's
Can you just share one thing to one person?
Yeah, share to whoever you want, and I can.
What is OneTouch?
OneNote is a note-taking program that Microsoft gives you for free.
They have to be using Edge as well, right?
Pardon?
They have to be using Edge as well, right?
Not to do OneNote, no. You just have to have a Microsoft
to
account.
see the annotation and stuff.
Oh yeah, Well, no, because you're gonna send probably a PDF type file to somebody.
I wish you would not have showed that to Lee, because now he is going to put a mustache on my picture.
Don't do that. All right.
That's the least that I'm gonna do.
When you get into that, when you get in, how'd you get out of that?
Exit button.
Where was the exit?
Okay. I was asking, here's the button to get the annotations,
I've been in there.
and then here's the exit.
Right, that's it over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's sharing, and that one is to save it.
Yeah, because I've been there and I've used
Yeah,
that.
exit, takes you back out. Okay, so there's a lot of other programs that Microsoft wants you to use as your default, your mail, your music, your photography stuff, but I'll tell you that you can use whatever program you want, whether it is a Microsoft app program or whether it's something you get off the internet. All of my favorite programs that I usually use when I'm using Windows, I can use. I can use Firefox, I can use Chrome, I can use VLC, I can use Thunderbird for my email. I just go to the web and download what I want. However, I do need to, when you get to your point of I'm going to upgrade, this is from my wife who says, I don't like knowing this. Because she doesn't come to computer stuff. She doesn't want. But she has sent me with instructions because she's heard, before you upgrade, you back up all of your files. Copy them all to a thumb drive or an external hard drive. There's one person who's not here today who would say, I've never had problems upgrading to Windows 10, and I've done it half a dozen times.
It takes once.
And it takes once. And that happened. Somebody, I don't remember now who it was, upgraded to 10. They didn't have anything backed up. They lost all of their files. So number one, before you do an upgrade, I don't think I had any problems when I did my upgrade. I wasn't worried about it because I have all that stuff backed up. Anyway, so make sure, one, that it's backed up. Two, make sure your computer's up to date. Because Microsoft, we cannot put the burden on them to be able to know every single kind of computer, laptop, devices, hard drives, video cards that you might be using in your computer. And there could be a problem with some compatibility that can be worked out. Ira's sister, he had to call me because her antivirus program that she had paid for was not there.
One there, they lost it.
They had to technically reinstall because there was not a one that worked with Windows 10. I lost my firewall. But all I had to do was just go out and get the new version that works with 10. You don't know what all programs you might work and pass on or not. But it's no big deal. If you went and got in the first place, you can go get second place. All you have to do is make sure there's a version for Windows 10. But number one, back up. Just in case. You should already be backing up. We talked about that before. Yeah.
Since we've had Windows 10 out a little bit, I haven't backed up anything yet. I think it's too early. But do you think it's too late?
You back up your files anytime you have a file that you don't want to lose.
Okay, but I haven't, all my...
Right.
Back up.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can do it, no problem.
That's the rule. If you have something on your computer that you don't want to lose, you back it up to something. And especially before you upgrade. Yes?
What's the buzz on the Edge browser? How does it compare to Chrome, stability, speed, all that?
Who are you going to ask?
I'm asking you.
Doesn't work with Zoom, right? We can't, use Edge right now with Zoom. Microsoft says that this is their better browsing system. It's kind of new to know for sure whether it's going to jump heads or heels over Firefox or Chrome. You just have to try it and see what you like. That's my whole thing. With Free John says, try it, see if you like it. If you don't, try something else. David.
Yeah, this one thing, it does have some features like the one you just demonstrated.
Yes.
where you can't do that with other browsers.
Correct. You know, Microsoft had to say, okay, what can we add to our browser to make people want to use it over Chrome, Firefox? So that, and I will guarantee that down the road, if Edge has this annotation ability, I don't see that down the road a little bit, Chrome and Firefox will have it probably.
How do you open a new desktop?
Oh, new desktop, okay. Since you brought it up, one of the things that Microsoft has done that Linux has been doing, sorry I have to say that, but is that in the past, when we Windows 7 people and you wanted to use multiple programs, they had to be all open on your desktop. And then you just had to keep minimizing, maximizing to go back and forth between your stuff. With Windows 10, they now will let you create virtual desktops, which means that I can put some stuff on this desktop and then I have a second desktop. I can put stuff, I can just go back and forth between the desktops. No maximizing, little minimizing. This button right down here is what's called our task view. When you click on this, you can see that I actually have Zoom running. Okay? But I only have one desktop. It doesn't even show me that, don't I have it?
So if he goes out of that, he goes.
Yeah, it's because it's minimized, it's right here, it doesn't see it. But if I do this and I go over here and say add a new desktop, now I have two desktops. And that means, for example, I can put my browser on one desktop and my email program on another. And I can just easily switch back and forth. There are keyboards that make it really easy to switch back and forth. And so I can have stuff on desktop 2. Let me open up there. And then I can go back, and there's desktop 1. So,
Where do I find it, in that little box?
yeah, the little box down there, that's your task view.
Okay.
And whenever I put my mouse,
How many desktops can I have?
how many do you want? That you can
Really?
see. Yeah.
Is it gonna slow things down and you have like a bunch of them open?
Oh, he can run it. There you go.
Okay, I got 17. Is that enough for you? All right, so yes.
I can have.
It can do it, but is that reasonable? No. And what a lot of people do would be to have a browser. One would have the word processor, one might have their email program, and so it's easy to switch back and forth, then minimizing, maximizing, minimizing,
Actually close
maximizing.
all those.
When I'm taking classes, if I'm taking an exam, I might need to have another program up here to go to here, and then something else, irs.gov, and then something else here.
Absolutely.
It might be a whole lot easier if I could do that.
Yeah.
It's also good for cutting and pasting one article.
Oh yeah, cutting and pasting things. Let me see if this is the right one. Oh, there it is. Control, window, arrow. So here I am right now on, let's see what desktop I'm on. Okay, I'm on desktop 1. I do control, window, arrow to the right. There I'm on 2. I do it again. Then I'm on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it works real easy. Some programs, like one of the ones in the Linux world, will do them, for top and bottom. So you can go arrow up, arrow down. But that's a good feature. It's taking them awful long. Yes, David.
If you have, let's say you start out with your one desktop, you open the second desktop, you have something in the program open on your second desktop. Can you, by accident, close that desktop and then lose what you have open in that second desktop?
Does it automatically close and save?
Well, right now I haven't found, because somebody asked how to close it. I've got 17 open. In my Linux program, I have a minus to take it away. Oh, there it is.
There's next.
No, it's not easy, because you have to come to task and click the X to close that window out.
What I'm asking, I guess, is if I have a desktop window open with a word processor and I'm
Yeah.
writing a book, and then I accidentally close the desktop, does it save my work, or does it close the word processor too? Does it?
It should close the word processor because you had that open on that
I
one.
wouldn't say
Let's just see what happens here.
Hey, John,
Yeah, just one second. Okay, I'm here. There's my browser open. I go to here. I kill that one. Nope, it moved it over to desk 1.
Okay. Well, this is convenient.
And like I said, there is so much to this that we haven't had enough time. And honestly, I'm only doing what I have to do to show you stuff. So,
Thank you, John.
yeah, it's okay. Last, I got to tell you, notifications. There's one tab that's a new thing down here in the bottom right. It's a little paper, looks like a notepad. When you click this is your new flag. You remember that in Windows 7? You have the little flag that pops up and yells at you when you're not doing stuff like they want. This will be popped up with notifications. There's been an update. There's something else. Blah, blah. They'll be listed up there at the top. You read it and you X out so you've read the notifications. Down at the bottom you have some important buttons that you need to. Notice that one says all settings, I think. Let me get in where I can read it. Yeah, so there's my shortcut to all settings. If I go back to here, this is important. People who like tablet. You like your Windows 8? You like your Windows 8 Touch 1? Okay, click here. And we now switch to tablet mode. Now let me get out of...
Yeah.
I'm in tablet mode. Here I'm back to Windows 8. So somebody who really likes that, you can be in tablet mode. Now I'm back in regular mode. Windows 10 has a neat feature. If I have a tablet that is docking, connects to a keyboard, I'll demonstrate on his computer. I rip off his monitor or screen, but you have the ones pop off. The minute you pop off, it automatically goes to tablet mode. The minute you connect your keyboard, it goes back to traditional keyboard mode.
Oh, that would be good.
Chromebooks
Yeah,
like that.
Chromebook. Any of those tablets that have the ability to separate, so you don't have to carry the keyboard around. So notification is popped up where you want. Charms are gone for the Windows 8 people. They won't get in your way. Like
Thank
that.
gosh.
Yeah, like the thing at the top gets in my way, but that's because I'm using Zoom. But then you have here's where you turn on your Wi-Fi, turn off your Wi-Fi, your airplane mode, all that sort of stuff. That's in your settings. Okay. Any other final questions? There's a lot more. And as I said, we have 2 machines that are on almost all the time when the building's open. Anytime. If I'm teaching, I have no problem if you want to come in and play on the computer. Don't ask me to come over and help until I'm break or something, but you are welcome to come in there. Help desks, repair desks. Anytime this building is open, if you want to go in and test drive, you can.
Is there
Yes.
is there a password on those?
Yeah, it's on the table. Microsoft will not let you create a user without a password. Georgia?
Just wanted you to know,
Yes.
I spent all day yesterday installing all of my stuff from my old computer to the new one, okay? And I had 2 administrators because that's what Mr. Kennedy told me to do. And I was worried the whole day. I thought, uh-oh, what if I go to my other administrator, will my programs be there? Guess what? They're there. Every single last one of them.
Yeah. There's a lot yet that we're trying to work. And as I said, it keeps changing. Just like the other day for iPad people, my wife was furious because she was playing a game and all of a sudden every time she did a Mahjong thing, up popped an ad or something. And it never did that before. So she kind of looks at me. Have you been messing? No. I said, well, it didn't start this until the other day. So I said, I'm guessing that there's an update. Let me see it. So I took it, went to their updates, and sure enough, the very first one, this update corrects the problem with pop-up ads happening. Click that, and it did it. So Microsoft does that. Apple does that. You can't test out everything. So you just have to go with the flow. Ira and I both had a problem. He had it first, then it happened to me. He turned on his computer, he clicked start, it wouldn't do anything. He couldn't even shut his computer down. It just popped up and said, taskbar and then start menu isn't working. We're trying to fix it. Well, we had to force it to shut down, and then when we started it back up, then an update got installed and fixed it. So this is what's going to happen for a while. I have heard that there is supposed to be a big Windows 10 update in October. So I wouldn't be in any hurry yet. All right, anything else real quick?
Show me, stop for a minute.
Oh, yeah, this is kind of neat. Look what we can do with Zoom.
Okay.
You gotta give me permission.
Oh, do I have to give you
Yeah.
permission? Oh, wait a second. No, I have to stop sharing. So I'm going to stop sharing mine.
You don't want to talk about that peer-to-peer question today, do you?
I'll do it real quick. All right, so we're back here now.
Yeah?
Do these people have questions?
Okay.
You had the microphones on.
Now, it's just the Dell computer and his is back on.
Someone's got to go. I'll just say my question.
Okay, go ahead. So Bob's going to do a screen share. This is just how neat this is.
Isn't that cute?
That's mine. Let's do it. Is it not doing it?
Yeah, supposed to be.
Yep, it hasn't shared to me yet.
Try it again.
So
It'll
word-
say,
word on the net, hey, John, is that this system is like the fix for H, you can do live on fast.
Up, that's what it was.
okay, now hit start sharing.
Yeah, you gotta pick the correct desktop.
Correct.
And in the past, I've had a computer with two of them. Okay, share screen.
All right. Now, with echoing, we're seeing Bob's Apple laptop.
There it is.
Because the Zoom will allow me to let other people share their
Jesus.
screens.
That makes me sick.
Yeah.
I was trying to get the PSA sticker. Here we go. No?
Boy, the FCC.
No, because so anyway, that's how great it should be. The
Yeah.
meeting should start in a few seconds. And of course, I can stop that sharing. Okay.
If put this app on, it says Zoom would like to access your calendar. Do I want to let it access my calendar?
It'll put dates on your calendar if we set up a meeting.
Do you do that?
Now, because I'm the one in charge of setting it up. Okay, I'm trying to do that.
I think I can get back to you.
Yeah, you can give it back, but there's a way I can also. Oh, request, no.
We're helping.
We can also do a little bit of a team viewer thing on here. Oh, there's our website for that. One last thing that Mary Frances wants me to tell you. One of the things that you have the option on your updates
Dell is playing.
You should be back to yours.
Microsoft is starting something new with updates. In the past, we have gone to Microsoft server and gotten updates. Well, they realize that the tens and hundreds of thousands of people going to their website overloads their system, slows down. So now they are starting a new procedure where I can go and get updates, but then they will say, okay, David DeRolf's computer, you send updates to John's computer. Bob Vance, you send him some of those updates.
Oh, they're doing it like a torrent.
No.
Exactly. They're starting it up as a torrent. So you would have to go into your settings and say to them, I only want updates coming from Microsoft. But it is faster that way because now I have 3 ways of getting update or at one time. But it also opens up the possibility that he could sneak in something to my computer, or David could sneak in. So it works faster, but it's up to you.
That's what I thought you said.
That's what I did say. Okay, now, when the meeting's over, I will get in contact with these people, and I'll ask them to email me and tell them what they thought and how things went. But I go down here and I can hit the end of the meeting and end it. The other thing I can do that I didn't do is I can record this. So for our help desks or our executive meetings, we can record the whole video, audio, and have a recording of that done. Like I said, we're going to have to wait and see how it compares, because I know it's not going to be with all the camera shots that Ever can do. Doesn't have as good a sound collecting of all of you people. But at least somebody could be at home and watch the screen right now and maybe even ask a question.
Maybe we get Nancy to run for secretary again.
Yeah, we might, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm hoping all the people who were
Don't end
there.
it yet, John.
Pardon?
Don't end it yet.
Don't end yet? Okay.
He's trying out his camera.
Oh, trying on his camera. You might have to restart to get the camera to be recognized. I don't know on that particular camera. Okay, I'm going to leave it kind of running just for a little bit and let Jim get to the important stuff.
It was a great. Thank you.